The WTO has issued a ruling on Chinese tariffs. We're going to talk about how you can help your county extension agent and much more on today's episode of the Arkansas AgCast.
You're listening to the Arkansas AgCast, where we discuss the latest news, trends, and issues impacting Arkansas farmers and ranchers. Our show is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau Federation and hosted by Jason Brown and John Nickman.
That's us.
That is us.
Who would have thought?
Still us. I will tell you, I'm breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief.
Are you?
Yeah, I made the mistake of booking a dentist appointment at 8 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, that would have, depending on what you were going to have done, that would have been a little difficult to do the podcast with.
Luckily, it was just routine.
Yeah.
But you know, it didn't occur to me till I got in the chair.
Yeah.
Like, man, I kind of rolled the dice on this.
Man,
deal.
you'd had a root canal done right before this. This would have been
just
been me.
just drooling, you know, just yeah. Anyway, Brian, how are you today?
Doing well.
It's Thursday.
It is.
The temperature is bumping back up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not in here, though.
The last 2 days, though,
No.
man, been great.
Oh, I tell you, I left the house about 5 this morning, and it was chilly.
Yeah.
It felt nice.
I bet it's been pretty nice Northwest Arkansas.
I talked to Jeremy Miller, who was down here earlier this week, and he said when he pulled up at the office and got out of his truck, like it punched him in the face. He's like, man, it was like 75 degrees when I left Northwest Arkansas. So, yeah, I think North Central Arkansas has been pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not nearly as bad. It's Sunday. Now, this is Thursday, August 17th.
Yeah.
Sunday, I didn't go outside. I went outside briefly at like 9 and like stayed inside the rest of the day.
Yeah, I heard sizzle.
Yeah. Our kiddo was wanting to go to the pool, and they close our pool at a certain heat index or whatever. And I was like, I don't know. We'll go kind of take a look. And at 2 o'clock, it was like 124 degree heat index in my house.
It was bad. It was hot. We had a friend's child's birthday party, and they had a big bouncy house water slide combo thing. And we were there with Anthony for like maybe an hour and a half. Never got off the porch out of the shade.
Yeah.
I would have melted.
Yeah,
It'd
that's
been
too
terrible.
hot. You would have.
It would have been awful.
That's too hot. I mean, it really was just too hot to do anything.
Isn't there a song about that?
I think there are a couple.
Hey,
woolly
You get to
goes
sing it for us?
Oh, it's too hot. Like that?
Nice, yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
you didn't get the orange shirt memo, did you?
Oh, he sure did
I
not.
didn't. Is that orange or red?
Depends.
Depends. Today it's
Yeah.
orange.
Hey,
That
and-
situation that singled me out.
For
In
the
this
purpose
light?
of this, it's
So
orange.
do we need to start coordinating our colors together on podcasts?
I didn't say that, but
He's just saying you're
The
an
insinuation
outsider.
is very strong.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've noticed a lot of my shirts are blue.
I've also noticed that.
I've been trying to get away from it, but I've got this problem with an old dryer that likes to rip buttons off my shirt.
Oh,
And it
boy.
just so happens that all of those shirts are not blue. So maybe it's the dryer's fault. You know?
I've been told that before when looking through the closet. Star be like, "Have you noticed how many blue shirts you have?"
Yeah.
So I was forbidden to buy another.
And I
blue
think
shirt.
it's an issue within our commodities department too.
I think it's just easy. I
Yeah,
also
well-
think like we've been sold or marketed blue shirts for so long.
True.
Here's my deal. I'm like, oh, this shirt's very different.
Yeah.
No, it's just a different size square or pattern than
True.
the other blue shirt.
Yeah, the other shirt I was going to wear today, you won't believe it, was also blue. So
How's that process work in the morning? You're like, I don't know. Do you try both of them on?
I'm just,
Look in the
man,
mirror,
another
you're
blue
like,
shirt, but then
yeah.
then I look in the closet, so they're all blue. Yesterday I wore a blue shirt too. So I don't know. I guess I need to go
Branch
shopping.
out.
Yeah,
branch out. I bet green would be a nice
I
color
do
for
like
you.
green.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See? Give it a shot.
I like red.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I guess I need to dive into orange now. So.
Yeah, that's it. Well, speaking of yesterday and what color shirt you had on,
Yeah.
nobody will be able to see it, but you did record a an Arkansas AgCast deep dive.
I wonder if I was wearing blue then.
Well, you just said you were.
Was that yesterday?
I think it was. Yeah.
Oh, well, then I was.
I know. We've been down here a lot lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were able to talk to State Forester Kyle Cunningham.
Mr. Kyle, yes.
Yeah. How'd that go?
It went really well. He had a lot of good information to offer, and he gave a good perspective on his new role and how he wants to proceed going forward. And I really liked what he said about his main goal, or his department's main goal, was protecting Arkansas's forest land.
Mm-hmm.
And how important that forestry industry is to the state. That is a message I don't think gets across enough, because it's overshadowed by, of course, our more famous celebrity crops such as row crop and rice and chickens and you name it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought he had some good information to share. Certainly made me think a couple times. And I'd like to pat you on the back because you managed, even though it was a deep dive, you still managed to squeeze in food into that conversation.
I did.
You got to put him on the spot.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave it up to the listener to go see that. But I'm always talking about food.
Yeah, we
can't tell by my
we're gonna
amazing
make it
figure.
Speaking of food, we've got another deep dive episode that was also initiated. Well, this one was initiated by food. Yours mentioned food, this one. And that's with Steve Wildman Wilson. I know a lot of folks certainly know and or recognize Steve. He's been, he's been a public figure in the outdoor sector
for
or conversation for probably 4 decades. He might hit me over the head for saying that, but worked for Game and Fish Commission. Still has a radio program. Works out at Bass Pro Shop a few days a week. And we just kind of sat down and talked to him about what he's got going on these days, about the Arkansas Hunters Feeding the Hungry program. He was up here with Ronnie Ritter. It was just a good conversation. So obviously this week you're going to have a regular show, but here in the next week or two, we'll squeeze in those extra episodes of the deep dive along the way. And if you have heard us cover, as you know, those deep dive episodes are based on news we cover here on the regular program. If you have heard us cover something that you would like us to take a closer look at or look further into, let us know. Put it in the comments. Call us, text us, send us a telegram, and let us know.
We need all the ideas we can get.
Yeah, we'll certainly make it happen because we, believe it or not, we love doing this show. But believe it or not, we also do like interviewing other folks. And we generally learn some things along the way, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I really enjoy it, to say the least. And as much as I like to hear myself talk, but it's nice to hear somebody else.
Yeah, and
give
folks,
expert opinion on something.
Yeah, that's it. And when they come in here, they're always like, "Oh my gosh, look at all this equipment." We'll tell them like, "Well, we don't do video for the deep dive, so you're in luck."
That takes a little bit of pressure off, I think, on somebody that hasn't really been on microphone before or recorded. So, exactly. I think it's a good feel for it.
Speaking of both our regular show and deep dive episodes, we had an exciting event earlier this week where we launched an online version of Arkansas Ag. And this is for those of you who may not remember or maybe have slept a couple times since then, Arkansas Agriculture is a magazine that we used to publish quarterly here at Farm Bureau.
Yep.
And took it out of print, I don't know, a year or so ago. And really just found a lot of people wanting to see that ag dedicated news source again.
Yeah.
And so we've been working really hard to bring that back. Members of our team across the Federation, and we launched that again this week. It is live right now at arcag.arfb.com. I'll spell that arcag.arfb.com. You can go there. There's a link on our regular website, I'm sure, arfb.com. We certainly, I know we've been sharing a lot about it on our social channels. So you can find it. It's going to be pretty easy to find.
You're going to have a lot of stuff from the commodities department in there too, aren't you?
Matter of fact, went through it day before yesterday and found a plethora of ag insiders.
Yeah.
and information like that that you
Expert
guys have
analysis.
put together. Expert analysis from a team of economists.
Man, it's
You guys need to
exhilarating stuff.
Yeah, exactly. A matter of fact, here's what I did. I pulled out 3 stories that I thought were most interesting to me.
Okay.
I thought I'd share those with y'all. Maybe you'll go on and read one of these, or maybe go on and see if you can find your favorite story on there right now. And one of those would be the land value story that you reported on last week.
Yeah.
Ag land values.
Mhm.
How about that? So in some cases, I'll bring that one up because in some cases, the news that we'll bring to you here, you can go back and find where we source that information or more coverage on that and things like that. So, that's helpful.
Yeah. Kind of bring that full circle for what we present here.
Yeah.
And then more detail they can find there on that article.
Yeah, exactly. There's another story on the Senate voting to pass a foreign land ownership law. That is there and pretty prominently placed on the homepage. And then a third one, which was based on, is an Ag Insider, actually, from Tyler. We did a deep dive on this, but it's the importance of ag sales tax exemptions in Arkansas.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Something that came in at a policy development meeting I was at the other day.
Yeah.
So there are 3 just good stories, and I mean, we're just scratching the surface, really. I believe we're going to plan to put the episodes of this show on there, and deep dives, if not all, then some, certainly. Yep. Anyhow, it's just going to be a great resource. It's meant to be sort of this news portal, this comprehensive look at ag news,
kind of a
much
one-stop
like this
shop
program. Yeah,
area to
exactly.
go to and get more information.
Yeah, much like we try and do here on the show each week.
Yeah, I think this coupled with the deep dives, our ag insiders, and then anything else we do, that'll be a great place for everybody to access that.
Mm-hmm.
And that may even generate more information for us to put here.
Well, what's great, yeah, exactly. And one of the things that I like about it is social media, especially Twitter, man, after 10 minutes, it's so hard to find stuff. Your feed is constantly populating and updating. Facebook, too, to that extent. We always talk about the big A word, algorithm, when it comes to social media. And it's so hard to track and keep up with that stuff. Well, here in the new Arkansas Ag news portal online, you can go there and find that stuff all the time. And it's, the newest stuff is at the top. It's, it's really a friendly platform.
Will there be a big picture of me on there?
There will be. Yeah.
Good.
In a blue
we'll
shirt.
make a note now. In a blue shirt.
Maybe we can change that.
No. Now I want to go look up your headshot and see if you're wearing a blue shirt in that. What else? Anything else going on with y'all? Any big plans for the weekend?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I think we have an engagement party to go to tomorrow night.
Man, y'all are always got something going on.
At 37 years old, I thought I was past that.
Yeah.
But there's a few lingering out there.
Yeah.
So,
What'll happen? I probably shouldn't say this. What'll happen is then you'll get to the point where everybody's on round 2.
Yeah. I mean, we've got baby birthdays.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
So not only friends, but I've got 2 nieces on one side of the family. Then my sister has a little girl and a little boy. So we've got all 4 of their birthdays. And I think all 4 of them are born in between mainly April, May time, but there's one in July. So it's like in April, May, almost every weekend, whether it's family or friends, their kids are having a birthday. It's just that time.
That's a lot. Yeah.
So, and then once you get past that, it'll be high school graduation.
Oh, no doubt.
And then your round 2s too, like you were referring to.
Yeah, exactly. How about y'all? You got anything fun going on? Have you been anywhere good to eat? Have you?
I have not.
Yeah.
Not in a while. I've been, it's been a lot of home cooking. So.
Yeah.
We went back to Mockingbird Cafe.
Where
we ate those burgers.
Uh-huh.
Can you guess what I got?
Wings.
Burger.
Really? they don't have that burger still, the Rock City burger.
No, not
burger,
that one in particular, but it was the same big burger and fries.
Was it good still?
Yeah, it was still really good. We went to the Arkansas Fine Arts Museum. They remodeled that whole thing.
They've got a restaurant, right?
Yeah. We didn't eat in the restaurant. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Did you have a favorite exhibit there?
No, to be honest with you, I couldn't pay attention like I wanted to because once after lunch, and we got in there. Anthony was on the verge of nap time,
Yeah.
so he really wasn't really into the art.
Well, you'll have to go back. I
Yeah.
remember we took Marilyn to Crystal Bridges. She was, she was maybe a year old, but it was, fairly easy. We kept her in the stroller, kept her fed. She was pretty good. But anyway, I did see today. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
We went and did the.
Oh, you did. You've been. I haven't.
We
been
went there and I love that string exhibit that
Yeah.
they did. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Very, very intricate and.
You talking about over the?
Yes,
on the
you walk
ceiling or
underneath
kinda-
it. It's kind of up above your head.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not
you
very
thought
long.
that was immobile for babies? Y'all were just playing with it.
I
held him up.
Yeah.
well, I
And
got
that was an exhibit.
I got stuck there for the longest time, just analyzing it, trying to figure out how long it probably took to put that together. It was
Yeah.
I love seeing stuff like that. Speaking of Crystal Bridges, that visit that I was just talking about, which has been 6 or 7 years ago, they had this candy exhibit. It was all green wrapper candy,
Really?
all on the floor within a
Yeah.
space. And the point was, take a piece because it was like representing like aging and
Yeah.
things. I'm doing a terrible job of explaining it, but I love that kind of intricate, sort of thought provoking type.
Yeah.
Even if it's just, gosh, how long did it take them to put this up?
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
and it's a unique piece of art because it was done for the art museum.
Yeah,
and, and in that one little spot. I say little spot. It was actually a pretty big exhibit, but it was done on location for that.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
it's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah.
It was designed for the space.
Yes, and the way the light hits and everything it was great.
I think what I've noticed about myself, I've been to like Crystal Bridges, and then when we were in Dallas for Commodity Regions, I went and wasted some time in there at the Dallas Fine Arts Museum.
Uh-huh.
I really like old landscape portraits. Maybe it's the outdoors
That's interesting. Yeah.
side of me, but I think those are probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Now, you
are
get into
their
real
fair
some
share.
abstract stuff, and I just can't
Yeah.
wrap my head
Yeah.
around it.
Same. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Crystal Bridges, boy, they've got, Rosie the Riveter in there, a couple of original portraits of like Alexander Hamilton, George Washington. I mean, that to me, just the historic value on some of that stuff is really staggering. Sometimes I almost let that overtake my my art brain, taking in just the art for what it is. Just being in the presence of something. The Campbell soup can, Warhol. Boys, if we do any more of this art talk, we're going to have to talk with our pinkies out here. Here, I'll just do the rest of the show like this.
We're
This
being a
is
little
very
sophisticated.
fancy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Look at us go. Well, that's cool. We've got to get over there. And now's the time when it's hot outside and go through. Is there a cost to get in there in
the
Little
Arkansas
Rock?
one? No, no.
If
Okay.
there's not,
They ask for
it's
your zip code, and that's about it.
Yeah.
True. They will ask for that, but it's fascinating.
Yeah.
You'll love it. The way they redesigned everything, it's well done.
Yeah.
It's very good.
That's cool.
I was impressed.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm excited to get there now. Yeah, that's good. Well, that's one more update I will say. It is food based.
Okay.
I did see this morning a picture of the inside of the new Wrights in Little Rock, and they are like
I forgot
very,
about that.
very close.
How long do you think it'll be?
My guess is post Labor Day, but not far after.
Okay, that's not far.
That's my guess. Within the next 3 weeks.
Speaking of, we did go eat out at one location. My wife has discovered Pizza Cafe after all these years.
Yeah,
She did not
I've
know
never
about
eaten
it.
there.
And
Yeah.
I took her there, and she's like, why did I not know about all this? I'm like, I thought you did.
Yeah.
But she loves it. It's
Really?
fantastic. So
I'll have to give that a shot.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I need to. We're trying to get over to the new space over at Diamond Bear too, and eat some barbecue.
What do they got?
Old Bart's.
Really?
Guy that started in a trailer in Greenbrier that we discovered a few years ago. He got his own spot in Conway, and now he's basically taken over the entire food program. Built a restaurant inside that Diamond Bear space
That's
over
cool.
there. And
I didn't know about that.
Matthew's had his barbecue. I think it's good. I'd say top
Thumbs
5.
up. 2 thumbs up.
I'd say top 5 in the state.
Okay.
Am I overselling that? Slightly. I know you
Matthew's got a specific skill he
I
goes
know.
by, so
top 10. Top 10.
Oh.
But very good. I tell you, it will put some folks in Little Rock on notice. I'll say that.
We plan to go try it.
And the menu is way more expanded than what you
Yeah.
had in Collins.
There's
There's
a
duck
lot.
wings on the
There's a
menu.
lot.
Ooh, I like duck wings.
I mean, there's a lot on there. So, all right, now for real, seriously, we're gonna get into this show.
Oh yeah, we've got news to give.
We do.
And go.
All right. A few highlights from the crop progress report this week, and we're going to talk about this a couple of different ways. First, giving our regular update, and then we're going to come back and cover the WASDE.
Okay.
But I will say, do you remember the theme for last week's progress report?
The Jeffersons.
Yeah, moving on up. Well, I attended a meeting in Poinsett County earlier this week with Tyler Oxner, and he reiterated the positive crop conditions in the weekly report. You know, Tyler, he watches those markets too.
Yeah, he studies this.
And he talked about the WASDE, which again we'll report on. So let's take a closer look because he also took observation of this. The state's corn crop saw another rise in quality this week, jumping nearly another 10%, and with nearly 70% of the crop rated at good to excellent.
Okay.
And another quarter in the fair column. So I mean, you're 5% or less there in the poor or very poor column with corn. Cotton also looks a little better yet again this week. Now over 70% in the good to excellent column and only 16% rated as fair. Also improvement over last week.
Okay.
Peanuts ticked up also again over last week. Now 84% good to excellent. A mere 1% of the state's peanut crop is rated as very poor. Rice follows the trend again this week, with that crop being at 80% good to excellent. Moving on to soybeans, we got another bump this week here in this column as well. Now more than 70% of the crop, soybean crop in Arkansas, is rated good to excellent.
Good.
Only 11% is rated poorly right now. And then the livestock and hay conditions continue to struggle as they have all summer. Not much change in the numbers from last week in either of those categories. We've been telling you for a couple weeks that harvest is upon us, and well, I am happy to share that USDA actually included some harvest progress in this week's report.
Good.
Yeah. That's right. Both corn and rice are on the board with 1% harvested in each crop. That's a bit behind the 5-year for corn, slightly ahead for rice, but no matter how you look at it, it's good news for farmers. Now let's hope we can get some of that cooler weather back from earlier this week so that they aren't suffering so badly in the field. We'll talk production numbers here in a bit when we cover that WASDE, like I said, but for now, how about some news?
Yeah. One last thing. Tyler and I went to Stuttgart yesterday for H2A meeting, and on the way there and back, we saw, a lot of good-looking rice, but a lot of corn that was ready or really, really close to being ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there were some beans that were, they were still very green, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But you could tell it wasn't far.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like everything was at a stage where it's all going to hit at once. Not each individual crop at once, but everybody's going to be in the field.
It doesn't feel like anybody's. I mean, beans are probably the exception, but it's still so early. I mean,
Yeah.
I stopped in Jackson County and took a picture of some rice, some corn, and some beans, and the beans were probably, I don't know, yay tall. If you're listening, if you're listening, it's probably a foot. But I don't know. Like I said, it's still pretty early there. But everything else, all the corn looked to be virtually the same.
Yeah, did what we saw.
Level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And rice very similar. So
when it hits, it's going to hit. You know what I mean?
Amen.
There we go. All right, let's start with some news coming from the World Trade Organization.
Right.
They have rejected Chinese tariffs from the Trump-era trade war.
Uh-oh.
So Wednesday, which was today's Thursday, that would be yesterday, correct? I was probably wearing a blue shirt.
That's right.
The WTO, or World Trade Organization, announced it has upheld U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum in 2018, but has rejected China's retaliatory tariffs against 123 different U.S. goods, including agricultural products.
All right.
I had no idea there was 123 different products that they had tariffs on.
The news came out so fast when all that was
Yeah.
going on. It was kind of hard to track.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a lot.
So the WTO, or like I said, the World Trade Organization, stated China's added tariffs were inconsistent with a 1994 General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade Treaty. China's retaliatory tariffs ranged from 10% to 25% and led to China drastically cutting its imports of U.S. Farm products. In response to this pullback, the Trump administration, if you remember, then spent more than $23 billion over the next 2 years to support farmers through the Market Facilitation Program. In response to the WTO ruling, American Farm Bureau President Zippy Duvall was quoted saying, AFBF is pleased that the WTO dispute panel ruled against China's imposition of unjust retaliatory tariffs on U.S. agricultural products. Agricultural trade is necessary for food security around the world and should not be endangered by retaliation for unrelated concerns. Despite the tension the trade war created between the two countries, the Trump administration and China eventually signed a trade deal in early 2020 that confirmed China as the top U.S. market for U.S. agricultural products. In 2022, China purchased $38.1 billion in U.S. agricultural products, and through June of this year, China has purchased $13.95 billion in U.S. agricultural products. So it was kind of a, iffy situation several years ago.
Yep.
But now they're back to where we were, or even more.
Yeah. I'm assuming that ruling is a binding one.
I can't confirm that.
Okay.
But I do know what I was researching is China wasn't happy about that.
Well,
who would have thought?
Yeah.
And they're requesting that the tariffs the U.S. still has on them to be pulled back.
Interesting. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. Certainly, an important trade partner there. Regardless.
Yeah.
All right, as promised, we'll give a few highlights from the August 11th WASDE report, and there are a few surprises in store. This report is the first survey-based report of the year to incorporate yield estimates for summer crops. The survey responses are primarily collected via telephone survey and conducted by NASS. There isn't much to report on corn. The yield estimate for this growing season is just over 175 million bushels per acre, which is largely on par with the industry expectations at a drop of 2.4 bushels from the July WASDE.
Yep.
Cotton, however, dropped significantly from July, with a 15% drop accounting for a almost 3.5% reduction in year-over-year production. USDA says the drop is attributed to higher abandonment and lower yield estimates. Texas is the main driver here, with abandonment increases coming based on temperature increases also. A Texas Tech report noted that this will be the 7th year with a national abandonment rate in cotton of over 10%.
7 years straight.
7 years straight, yeah, pretty significant. Soybeans are another nothing to see here crop for the report, largely following expectations, but just a slight dip since last month. We're still expected to harvest more than 4.2 billion bushels at an average yield of 50.9 bushels an acre.
Okay.
Interestingly, according to the report, Arkansas is reporting a record yield forecast at 53 bushels per acre this year. Neighboring Mississippi is in that record yield category 2 for forecast with 56 bushels per acre average. So we'll see how that plays out in real time. Obviously, we've already talked about it.
Yep.
Not very many soybeans, if any, have come out of the ground yet.
No.
But
I am hearing some high yields down south on some corn.
Yeah.
Like extraordinary high yields.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's going to be across the state. They usually start picking corn a lot earlier down southeast Arkansas than they do across the rest of the state.
Exactly. So we'll see. And then the outlook for U.S. rice in this growing season is for increased supplies and ending stocks compared with last month, and really no other changes. The average all rice yield is forecast at just under 8,000 pounds per acre, 7,700-ish pounds per acre. up 100 pounds. Long grain production is forecast at almost 147 million hundredweight, and combined medium and short grain production at 56.8 million hundredweight. Medium and short grain production is up 76% from a year earlier and the largest in 4 years.
Okay.
Anything there stand out to you or stick out?
No. No.
Okay.
Not really.
I think the idea is soybeans and corn are going to do what we thought they were going to do.
Yeah.
Cotton may be down a little bit based on weather. Rice is sort of hanging in there, and then there's some wheat reporting. But I was told a long time ago that we just don't raise as much wheat as we used to. So we can certainly see that in the WASDE report. If
you
if
can
you need to.
You can look at this at a few different ways. One, not different change than what we expected, right? So that's good. But if you get into a supply and demand situation, if we were producing less, then the price of whatever that product would go up.
Yeah.
Right. But the other way, you do want to see an increase in production, but then you'd see a decrease in price. So
yeah,
there's a lot to take away, but I think at the end of the day, you're not seeing much change. So that's a good thing regarding expectations being good or bad.
Exactly. So and cool to see a record soybean yield set potentially too. So, all right, well, let's take a short break from the news to hear a reminder about keeping rural roads safe this time of year.
Arkansas farmers and ranchers work 7 days a week. That means when you hit the road, you may be sharing it with farm equipment, especially if you're traveling along rural roads and county highways. Farm equipment moves slower than our pickup trucks and minivans. They may not have the safety lights and turn signals of our family vehicles either. The trucks and tractors moving down the road need extra room to make turns, cross bridges, and move through intersections too. We all get in a hurry sometimes, but it's important that we all stay safe, no matter if we're headed to buy groceries or grow them. So next time you're cruising past a pasture or field, keep an eye out for farmers. They'll be sure to keep an eye out for you too. If we all work together, we can make sure Arkansas is cultivating safe roads.
It's so important that we work together to keep each other safe on the roads. This time of year, you may find yourself on the road with a farmer moving hay or moving large equipment, especially in rural Arkansas. Mm-hmm. Let's just all be sure to help one another cultivate safe roads. Now let's get back to the news.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So I found some interesting information on urban sprawl and the impact it's had on ag land.
Nice.
It's not great, nor is it good.
Sure.
So urban sprawl continues to be an issue for food production across the U.S. Signs of urban sprawl have been increasing since the early 2000s, and a report written last year by the American Farmland Trust suggests this trend is likely to continue. The report notes from 2001 to 2016, the U.S. lost or comprised 2,000 acres of 2,000 acres of farmland every day. If this trend continues, another 18.4 million acres will be lost due to urban sprawl between 2016 and 2040. Mm-hmm. So to put that in perspective, that's the same acreage as the state of South Carolina.
Holy
roughly.
Cow. Mm.
Of that acreage, the trust estimated 6.2 million acres will be converted to urban uses, such as commercial buildings and industrial sites, with the remaining 12.2 million acres converted to low-density residential areas. These residential areas would consist of large lot subdivisions to rural areas with proliferation of scattered houses. So they're going to be taking up large portions of land is what they're getting at here, and not in the most efficient way.
Yeah.
So the Land Trust goes on to say in their report, and I quote this, while new development is necessary as a population grows, much of this conversion will be inefficient, using more land than necessary to comfortably house and support the population. This poorly planned development undermines global food security, local food systems, and the environment that we all depend on. Mm-hmm. It pushes up greenhouse gas emissions by lengthening commutes and reinforcing car dependence. Because of the conversion is concentrated near cities and towns, it will have an outsized impact on smaller farms. It also places an undue burden on local government coffers, costing more for public services than it provides in taxes. So
Yeah,
we're
that's
seeing
really
this,
interesting.
not only is this in bigger cities across the U.S., but we're also seeing it here in Arkansas, especially Northwest Arkansas.
I always point to our friend Wes Evans, who is in Benton County, and he shared with me one of the first times I met him that he has a hayfield that is on the fairway of a golf course.
Oh, wow.
And Wes is a multi-generational farmer up there, and that golf course has not always been there. It is something that he has had to learn to farm around as time has gone. So, not only that, but we see issues with erosion that comes from overdevelopment or urban sprawl. I mean, it's kind of all kinds of stuff, and this is just a really interesting topic to me as we see broadband expansion and get stronger in rural communities. That is obviously great for those who are there and farmers and so on and so forth. It also sort of opens that door, that invitation to come out and join those communities because now you've got a lot of the same services or abilities that you had in town.
Yeah, another thing I was reading about this was that they have noticed, not particularly this land trust organization, but other people have noticed that even back to the 1950s, that they've been seeing an increase in urban sprawl onto farmland. And that made me start thinking just like a community like Jonesboro.
Mm-hmm.
How much has Jonesboro grown?
Oh, my gosh.
In the last 70 years.
I moved to Jonesboro
How much has it grown in 20 years?
24 years ago I moved there, and I can tell you it's a different town than it was then.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of crazy to think about. Well, in the interest of time, I'll wrap up today with a little information about how you can let your extension agent know exactly how he or she helps you or your farm. Extension ag agents from all 75 counties want to know how their constituents use the livestock, forage, and gardening resources of the Cooperative Extension Service and have opened a survey for feedback. Brad Runsick, the Baxter County Extension staff chair who initiated the survey, said the goal of the questions is to understand how people find out about and use specific resources of the Extension Service. The survey doesn't address row crop or field crops, I want to be clear about that, but it does cover publications on gardening, soil testing, and other diagnostic services, as well as production meetings where farmers and ranchers can hear about relevant recommendations and be face-to-face with land grant experts.
Yeah.
The 9-question survey should take only a few minutes to complete. The survey will remain open until, let's say, midnight, September 15th.
Yeah.
By the time you go to bed on September 15th. And you can find a link to that survey at uaex.uada.edu. This story has been covered as a press release in a few different media outlets too. So I bet if you just search, University of Arkansas Extension Survey, you can probably find it. But like I said, that's uaex.uada.edu. Go on there. Tell them how you find this stuff, how helpful it is. I can tell you that somebody who does surveys for a living as a part of their job, that will only help improve your experience with these agents.
Yeah, I would just echo that. As a past extension employee, that is a free resource to the people of this state.
Yeah.
And they can only help you as much as information as you give them of what you want or what you need, whether it's on the farm or even, like you said, gardening, or even if you're looking for soil testing to put down sod and what sod you should put, or what fertilizer. And, all that information is there for free. So please utilize the Extension Service as much as you can. They're there for a reason in every single county in the state.
Yeah. My next door neighbor, I texted him early or late in the spring. I'm like, hey, man, your yard is looking great.
Yeah.
What's going on? And he's like, I got a soil test.
Yeah.
I'll send you the results. And it was, it's from our Pulaski County
for free
office for no charge. And we both have now applied, inputs based on what that said. So anyhow, his yard still looks better than mine, but whatever. So
it's tough, man. I know.
Golly, I never thought I'd be so obsessed, but just want it to look good.
I try not to pay attention just enough to where if anybody drives by, they're not like, ooh,
oh yeah,
as long as they're not doing that, I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
Well,
keep those clippings out of the street.
Yeah, my yard's never gonna look like a golf course.
What is
Mine
that
either.
guy in the blue shirt
Mine
doing
either.
to his yard?
Yeah, goodness gracious.
I changed to a green shirt when I'm in the yard.
No. All right. Well, guessing we're gonna have a little fun.
Hopefully,
Okay.
it'll be a little fun. I
Yeah.
mean, it just depends. Are you guys feeling confident?
I'm not. And somebody
I'm
stopped
indifferent.
me. Somebody stopped me in the hallway the other day and said, "Boy, some of that stuff Brian gives y'all is just hard."
Yeah. He must think we're more than what we actually are.
That's actually very similar to what I said. He's giving us a lot of credit.
Well, we got to have a little fun, right?
I like
So-
it. Yeah.
It's time once again for
Oh,
He did it. That's like my favorite part.
I know it's mine too. That's awesome. Oh, I think you need to turn that off, maybe.
I was going to leave it on the whole time.
You should. I think you should.
It might make the questions a
love
little
that.
more interesting.
Yeah.
So, would it make it more interesting for you?
Bring some tension to
Yeah,
that.
sure.
So,
Give it a shot.
Well, what is measured in Mickeys?
Hmm.
What item is measured in Mickeys?
Is there an origin?
He doesn't give us stuff like
I'm
that.
not going to give you the origin.
I'm still going
but
to try.
I will
It doesn't
say
hurt to
this.
ask.
It doesn't have anything.
I
to
dare
do.
say you use it every day.
Okay, we use it every day. It's measured in Mickeys. I've never heard this term.
I haven't either.
It's the speed of a
Blinker.
yes. Your blinker is measured in
no idea.
Mickeys. Yes.
Was that you really?
No, he's being sarcastic. Well, the reason I bring that up is because I realized the other day I think my truck is piping in blinker sound. So when I got a phone call, all of a sudden the blinker stopped making its noise. You know what I mean? Like
Is this
that was
your-
a necessary noise because it was literally the circuit. I'm assuming back in the day.
So this
Sorry.
is your latest conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
That's-
I think it's a fabricated noise. It's no longer the mechanical
Well,
noise of a
like
blinker.
what was it? Just a few years ago, there was a conspiracy that football stadiums were pumping in crowd noise.
Well, they've always said that about
Yeah.
Tennessee, Neyland Stadium. Yeah. All right. Well, I think it's safe
What's
to
the
say
answer?
we don't know. We're,
got a
we're
story
trying to
later.
change
It is-
the topic.
I've got a story on that later, but
Okay.
I don't want to get us off the rails, but it's quite funny.
Wow.
Speaking of conspiracy stuff.
We quite enjoy getting off the rails.
Yes. Would you believe it's the speed of a computer mouse?
Oh, no. Mickey's.
I mean,
that makes sense.
I was trying not to go towards like Disney World.
Well, I know. I
Because
thought it
I
was
was like,
like
this is
good
too
times
easy.
at first. Yeah. A computer mouse. Huh.
Yes.
How fast the computer mouse moves, or like
Yes.
on the screen,
Well,
because you can increase or decrease how fast that mouse moves on the screen, no matter how fast you move it.
I
on the
think
pad.
that would be you changing the Mickeys.
could be. Is that it?
see, look there.
Adjusting the Mickeys.
We're already using this.
I'm causing you to think.
yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I adjusted the Mickeys when I got my new mouse not too long ago.
Oh, nice.
I don't think it has anything to do with the click speed. That would be clickies.
Clickies and Mickeys, baby. Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
In Wyoming, in the month of June, it is illegal to take a picture of
we're
what
back to these.
animal?
It is legal,
Illegal.
illegal.
Yes, we are in PD season. So
Yes. Yeah, that's good. I think buffalo. I feel like we've had this one before.
In Wyoming? Is that no? You said Idaho.
we may have had it before. I was trying to see if you
I think
recall.
we've had this before, and it's we're not gonna get it still.
A badger,
A rabbit.
Rabbit.
rabbit. Sounds
Yes.
familiar.
I think we've had that.
Is it a
before.
jackrabbit? That may have been the question I asked.
You obviously didn't learn anything.
Oh no, we didn't
so-
learn a thing
What?
on brand.
I said you didn't learn anything.
No.
I may repeat a question every once in a while just to see if you're paying attention. These are pop quizzes, okay?
Yeah,
So
come on.
So Little Rock, as we know, claims to be the birthplace of what food?
Cheese dip.
Cheese dip.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fortune cookies.
Mm.
Where were fortune cookies invented?
The good old US of A.
California.
You're warm.
Oregon, Washington.
I said you're warm.
You just gonna run up the coast
Yeah.
or what? I mean,
You were in California. Let's
Well, you
stay
said
in
it was warm,
California.
then
there,
it was-
so.
And you didn't say yes to
Sacramento.
California, so I
Yeah.
went to a different state.
Sacramento.
You should have been more specific.
Okay.
He's
Specifically,
trying to economize you right now.
yes,
I'm just telling
he
you.
is.
It all
Listen,
depends
Mr. Blue Shirt.
on how it's delivered.
Let's stay in California.
Okay.
Choose a city.
He said Sacramento, and you said yes.
I did not. I said yes to California.
I'll say San Francisco.
Bingo.
Bingo.
Bingo,
He
bingo.
got one.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
I'm the best.
Ending on a good note. So there
Yeah.
you go. That's all I got
San
for you today.
Francisco, home of the fortune cookie.
Yeah.
Ugh.
What are the numbers for
Disgusting.
on the back of a fortune cookie?
I think if you play
Print
the lottery,
So you're supposed to use those numbers.
that's what I've always thought. I could be very wrong.
They are the Mickeys when they wrote it.
That's what you're supposed to adjust your Mickeys to.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, fortune cookies, not for me.
You
I
don't-
always
you don't
hand
like
mine
that?
right over to our kiddo.
You don't like the taste of fortune cookies?
No, they're terrible.
Mm.
Don't tell me they're good.
Well, it's bad luck if you don't eat the fortune cookies.
If you don't eat them,
Yeah. If you read that
well,
fortune
maybe that's
and you
what's been
don't eat
going
the
on all
fortune,
this time.
yeah, that's how you found yourself here today.
Yeah, well, I mean, you told me this before. Goodness. Well, that wraps up the news this week. Eat your fortune cookies.
Yeah.
Thanks for following along with the Arkansas AgCast. We're grateful for you taking the time to watch and listen.
Remember, you can catch new episodes of the show every Thursday afternoon. Find video episodes on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the audio version on iTunes or Spotify, and make sure to subscribe and leave us a review when you have a few extra minutes.
That's right. The Arkansas AgCast is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau. I'm Jason Brown,
And I'm John McMinn.
and we'll see you next week.